Good morning. My name is Kyle Golik, and my background is blending systems administration, MarTech, CRM operations, automation, reporting, content strategy. And to me, this is why this position really stood out for me. So for the past several years, I've worked in a role where I supported business critical systems across users, applications, websites, databases, CRM tools, marketing platforms, and just reporting infrastructure. So what I've enjoyed the most really about this is it's not just keeping all the systems running, but looking at a process and asking, why is this being done manually? And how can we make it cleaner, faster, and more repeatable? To me, that's the part of this role that really fits me. I have hands-on experience with HubSpot CRM, and really CRM data structure. I started my technical career working in a point of sale software company, and then that was a proprietary CRM. Then at the company I'm at now, Salesforce and HubSpot were really big in with that. So there was a lot with that. So I understand the data structure. I know about workflow and automations because automation is such a big part of today, especially with AI and everything around different field mappings, indexing, data validation, reporting, and marketing ops. I have hands-on experience with Make and Zapier, a little bit more with Make than Zapier, but if you know one, you could probably figure out the other. Getting really intimate with APIs, especially with HubSpot's version 3, workflows, SQL, PHP WordPress, Elementor, Looker Studio, TapClicks, GA, Tag Manager. So I'm very comfortable working across a full path of data movement, from a form submission or a customer record into a CRM through an automation to notification systems and all sorts of reporting and traditional process. So I always approach systems very practically. I want to understand the actual workflow, not just the ideal version of it. So who touches the process? Where does it start? Where does it need to go? What's repetitive, what steps require judgment. We're in an age of AI where it's either human in the loop or human on the loop, so we're always going to be assessing that. Where do the mistakes happen? Once I have a firm grasp of that, I can map the process, identify bottlenecks, automate parts that should be automated, and document it to the parts that need to stay human. For this position, I see the need as building an operational engine that allows the company to scale to hundreds of locations, to thousands, without creating manual complexity. To me, the CRM has to be clean. It has to have workflows. It has to have automations. Everything has to be reliable. SOPs have to be clear. We must have documentation. The automations have to reduce work instead of creating new problems. I would come in and try to have some quick wins to start off. Things like repetitive handoffs, manual notifications, inconsistent data fields, content workflow delays, things of that nature, any client management gaps or reporting. I want to work on those and build the foundation and have a strong documented processes. So that way we can start on top of that cleaning and having great CRM architecture with that. And that's something that everyone can trust in the team, because if everyone can really lean into it, that's what we want to be. I also feel like my content background is also a major advantage to this role. In addition to very technical and marketing operations experience, I am a freelance sports writer covering Penn State football, hockey, wrestling, and many major live events. I just did the 2026 NHL Scouting Combine and Entry Draft. I've been credentialed for Super Bowl week. I've done the Rose Bowl. I've done NCAA wrestling championships. I've done many other bowls and things. So you got to think of the high pressure situation that you need to compete with to do this. Since this is social media content marketing, I understand that, this is part, operations cannot be separated from content qualities and turnaround time. So me being able to do that, with the AI side, AI is just part of everything now with, we're heavily deep in with Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot, but we also want to build guardrails around it. So, what I bring really to this is I feel that this role is a natural fit. I like taking, a process that is functional, that's too manual, too scattered, too dependent on individual, and turning into something scalable and documented. So thank you for watching. Hopefully we talk soon.